And Atkinson looks like he's going to protect Tongue.
I just feel from Prasidh Krishna's point of view, he's just got to stick to those tactics. Atkinson is bound to come after him. He refused the single of the first ball, so his intention is to get boundaries.
Third man lands short. They do take the single this time.
And well placed, the third man. Very fine. Precisely for that. And what tension. But one must say, tactically, India have been rock solid this morning. The way they've come out, they've started with the right combination. Prasidh had to bowl 4 balls to finish his over, unfinished over from last night. And then Siraj. Every run scored here is like gold dust. 19 runs to win. But in a situation like this, it's a lot more than that. When you know your last man's arm is in a sling.
Sneaking, I think, sneaking down. No, given. That looked like it was sneaking down.
England review.
Got to review that.
Well, he's given out, so even an umpire's call is a wicket. But it did quite a bit.
TV umpire to director, we have a player review for LBW. Original decision is out. I've checked the feed, it's a fair delivery. We'll go to front on, please. Front on coming up now. Yep, we'll go to Ultra Edge, confirm there's no bat. Ultra Edge coming up now. Yeah, I've got a gap between bat and ball, so there's no bat involved. So we'll go to ball tracking when it's ready. Ball tracking coming up now, Hassan. Impact is in line and missing the wickets. Hassan.
Yeah, everyone's under pressure. That was missing comfortably, but England will be upset there because they would have got a leg bye. But the moment a decision is given, it is dead ball. So they don't get the leg bye, which means that Tongue has to stay at that end. That's also sneaking down. Every player appealing, all of India appealing. Just one review remaining for Shubman Gill, and he rightly didn't use it, sneaking down.
Well, every ball is an event. There's drama in these first 25 minutes of play. Support equal for both sides. And that review showed missing. The noise was at its loudest. Yet when the finger went up, it was loud as well.
Oh, we saw it Headingley when Tim Payne used a review and it proved costly in that famous Stokes run chase. Save that review. It could be useful. Tung survives. 19 needed, 2 wickets needed by India. Nothing going for it. But understand the emotion, you will appeal for everything. Everyone is spread, so it's difficult to get the boundaries. They will take the single.
I think they should. Every run that comes, just take it. Fun and games will start if it gets into single figures. That's when India will start thinking new ball, no new ball. It's still a long way away. 18 needed. You mentioned as whole of India watching. I'll tell you, there'll be prayers all around the country at the moment, not to mention in the dressing room. Every mantra that exists will be recited.
Some top order batters that would struggle to put bat on that. It is hooping.
Just seeing him today, he's just forgotten seam, a scrambled seam. He's just backing his outswing today.
For now. He's still got it in his locker. The little wobble seam.
Keeps it out. I just like the thought process of India this morning. Nas, they would have come out saying, let's not give the boundaries. Let England earn it. And they've set fields accordingly, and they bowled the lines that are needed for that. Which means nothing into straight field. Everything will be square or behind the wicket. If the runs have to come quick.
What a bowler he's been this series. What an over that is. England need 18. India still searching for 2 wickets. 356 for 8.
Yes, it's been a fabulous half an hour. Terrific test match cricket. Well, India really pumped up after they got a wicket in the first 6 minutes. And this man is carrying on from where he's left on day 1 of the series. 22 wickets. Morning, Michael Atherton.
Morning, Ravi. What a competitor Mohammad Siraj is and has been throughout this series. Skillful, but full of passion and intensity as well. What can Gus Atkinson do now, facing Prasid Krishna? That new ball not been taken. It's done plenty, of course, this morning. The lights on, the clouds are in, bit of drizzle in the air. Conditions very similar to just before the cloudburst late last evening when the ball started to dance around off the deck. No surprise that there's that movement again this morning. And everybody's nerves around the country and in India shot to pieces, I should think, Ravi.
Absolutely. Not to mention here as well, those watching. And there'll be a few ambulances floating around as well in India. Just getting to about 4 o'clock in the evening. Promise you no one will be in the offices. They would have disappeared at 2 o'clock with the best excuses in the world.
Yeah, it's that kind of morning. Nail-biting one.
Even funerals would have come into play to get away from work. Everyone, work has stopped.
There's a delay to the penthouse construction.
Good boy.
Two slips, everybody else spread out, saving the boundary. Short ball, but it's come straight off the toe. Neither batter seemed to know where the ball was. There's a wild throw come in from Siraj. Fortunately, third man is very fine, doesn't need to move. So there's only one gain, no overthrows.
He was looking at square leg and running. The ball had come to mid-on. Look where he's looking. He thinks the ball is somewhere there and then realizes that he has to hurry.
You couldn't make it up, this series. It's had everything. And we still don't know yet.
Classic case. Looking London, ball going Paris.
Now, slightly more aggressive feel for Tong. Another catcher comes in to the gully. But the real danger man is Siraj.
This now reminds you of Lords, when Jadeja was batting with Siraj, taking one run at a time, trying to get the target closer.
Little bits of rain falling, as you can see on the peak of Josh Tong's helmet. There is just bits and spots of rain. This ball of the over, and Prasid signals that he wants Gully going back to the boundary at third man. So just those two slips again. This is brilliant from India. Wonderful bowling, full and straight. Too good for Josh Tong. And this series is about to get its most dramatic end as we await Chris Woakes.
Watch what happens now. Classic stuff from Prasidh Krishna. Thudding into the pads, then onto the stumps. 9th wicket goes down. And here he comes. What's this? A la 1963. Colin Cowdrey walking down the stairs at Lord's. He'll be at the non-striker's end. And if ever you wanted drama, here's drama for you. Chris Woakes makes his way into the Kennington Oval.
Chris Woakes made his debut here a dozen years or so ago against Australia in the Ashes, and now 36 years of age and a bit of a veteran. He walks to the crease with that what would be his front shoulder in a sling. We understand that he went to the indoor nets yesterday. There's a kind of alleyway between the England dressing room that leads down to the indoor nets, so you wouldn't necessarily be able to see it if you were watching in the crowd. But Woakes went down there yesterday to practice hitting the ball left-handed. And now, with England still requiring 17 to win, remember that a tie, which we've only had 2 instances of in the history of the game, would give England the series 2-1, but they require 17 to win as Woakes joins Atkinson at the crease. When Cowdrey came in, you referenced that 63, just had to stand at the non-striker's end for 2 balls to save the game, so he was never in danger of having to face a ball with a broken arm, and that has to be the aim for Atkinson now, to keep Woakes away from the strike, to protect Woakes and try and get these 17 runs that now feel like a good distance away. What an effort this has been from India. They looked dead and buried yesterday afternoon when Root and Brook went through to the most magnificent hundreds. 105 for Root, 111 for Brook. The game seemed in the bag then. But time and time again in this series, India have found a way of bouncing back, and they are on the brink now of what would be the most remarkable victory.
Fabulous stuff. Really, really fabulous stuff this morning. No praise can be too high, and Siraj bounding in.
Yep, he'll keep coming in right to the end, won't he? 22 wickets as KL Rahul gets the crowd going with a bit of fancy footwork. 22 wickets for Siraj in the series, the leading wicket taker, man who has led this attack throughout, has the chance to finish it. Remember yesterday when he put down Harry Brook at deep fine leg, he must have felt then that match had maybe slipped through his fingers. Well, he's got a chance to take this final wicket. Shubman Gill just making sure he gets that leg side field right. And Gus Atkinson smears this away to the leg side. It's over mid-on. Unbelievable shot from Gus Atkinson. It's Akash deep out there in the deep at long on. We're awaiting the umpire's signal. It's gone for 6. An amazing blow from Atkinson.
Wow. Is there still a sting in the tail? What a strike this is. Akashdeep has just palmed it over the fence, looking to take the catch. I still think it would have been 6 if he had not got his hands to it. But a magnificent strike which means 11 needed.
Yeah, he wasn't all the way back on the fence, was he? He was about 10 yards in, so he had to backtrack, and in doing so, going for the catch, has palmed it over the boundary. Now, what will Mohammad Siraj do? I suspect he won't put this up in the slot. If you're thinking of a one-day term, that was right in the slot for Atkinson to have a dip at.
Wow, this Anderson Tendulkar trophy is still alive. 11 runs, 1 wicket.
Just the one slip. An extra man now goes out to cow corner. Akash Deep's pushed himself right to the boundary edge now at long on. A bit shorter this time from Siraj. It comes right off the splice of the bat. But Atkinson is not going to run, obviously, because he's got to keep Woakes away from the strike.
Atkinson will have to do what Washington Sundar did in that first innings, just try and hit sixes when he was with the last man.
Almost did a Harry Brook there and lost his grip on the bat completely. Siraj. Oh, my word. That was honing in towards leg stump, but somehow Atkinson gets an inside edge on it. Now we've got 2 balls left in the over. Can they find a way of keeping Woakes on strike?
Well, he's better off keeping it outside the off stump at this stage, because what Atkinson wants is the bowler to target the stumps, either length or short, where he can get underneath it and try and go the distance. Well, it's much easier said than done, but clarity of thought now so critical.
Yes, and Shubman Gill in his first series as captain, when they appointed him captain, cannot have imagined what lay ahead of him in these 5 test matches, 25 days of test cricket that have tested him to the absolute limit. Full toss, and it just sneaks past leg stump, and Jarrell does well.
Well, now 1 ball left in the over. Does he run a bye here, Chris Woakes, in case Atkinson misses? I've hoped he got a thicker inside edge. Ball could have gone away fine.
What field does Shubman Gill set here now? Can't just have everybody out. They've got to try and keep Atkinson away from the strike. Of course, Siraj can bowl a bouncer. He's got a bouncer up his sleeve, but he can't bowl it too high because he'll be wided.
He gave us everything with that last delivery, Siraj. The quickest ball he's bowled, 90 miles per hour, the last one.
The field is back, then it has to be a short ball. Shubman Gill is the only man who will be in a catching position. He's had a long conversation with Siraj, and they're getting that field set square. So it suggests that Siraj is going to bowl a short ball here at Atkinson. Oh, it's wide, and they're running through, but that was missed. And Woakes, keep your eye on Woakes, who's hurting as he runs through. He must be hurting, but he's made it, and Atkinson is on strike.
Well, he's grimacing in pain, Chris Woakes. Really is. As he holds that shoulder. What scenes at the Oval.
May well have it slipped out of the sling as he ran from the non-striker's end. They did exactly the right thing. Jarrell threw the ball towards the stumps. You can see Woakes running already. He's ready to go and get off strike. sprinting in. The throw came in, but wide.
What surprised me was that you've seen these cases that they play a lot of T20 cricket, white ball cricket. Just trying to think with that last ball what MS Dhoni would have done. He would have had one glove off even before he collected it.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I hadn't seen him remove his glove. It's almost as if he wasn't expecting Woakes to run through. So you're right, that glove should have come off and then the throw would have come in. It's the kind of thing, we were chatting to Dinesh Karthik on commentary the other day. He said it's the kind of thing wicketkeepers practice, particularly in white ball games, one-day games. Practice relentlessly, but Jarrell was just caught a little bit off guard there.
He's got to get that third man right. Can't keep it that square because he's going to swing at it. Fielders everywhere on the boundary. Everywhere.
Ten to win for England. 1 wicket to take for India. Atkinson on strike, eyeing up what is a slightly shorter leg side boundary now when he's batting at the pavilion end.
He'll be thinking 2 hits away.
There's 1 hit, but it won't be 4. They'll get 2 as Woakes comes back for the second. He's hurting, you can see he's hurting, but he's made his ground again.
He is in tremendous pain. This is an unreal effort. You can see him grimacing. Has to take a few deep breaths, bite the bullet for just a little while longer.
Shubman Gill now, it comes out of slip. He's gone to that mid-wicket position where Atkinson played that last ball. Swings, misses. Jarrell, you can see he's looking for the opportunity now, but there's no way Chris Woakes will be scurrying through off the second ball of the over.
Which is the spot he's eyeing? If he's looking for 6, it has to be onside, shorter boundary. It has to be over square leg, which means he'll need to use the angle. It's that square leg boundary which is the shorter side.
Eight to win for England. Swings again and misses again. There's only one place he's looking for, Ravi. You said, where's he looking? He's looking to that leg side. It's a bit shorter, that side, isn't it?
Tension unbearable. I think his best chance is maybe stand on a middle stump guard and get some angle going. Even if he gets it fine, there's a chance of a boundary.
Looking at the fielders who are in the firing line on the leg side. Sai Sudarshan at long on. Their best fielder, Ravindra Jadeja, in the key position at deep mid-wicket, cow corner. Is that Yashasvi Jaiswal at square leg? Swaran actually the sub. But Jadeja, you feel, is right in the firing line there. As Shubman Gill just drops himself a little deeper. Goes wide this time. Once again, Atkinson can't get bat on ball.
That's it. He's still not played a ball. 2 balls left in this over. He's got to make.
He's trying to do. I think with Shubman coming to the offside, he's probably saying to Prasid Krishna, try and hide it wide outside the off stump, keep it away from that short leg side boundary. We're almost thinking in one-day terms here. Acquiring that 1 wicket still. Atkinson to huge cheers, gets across his stumps, dinks a 1 into the offside, and will have the strike again.
Wow, he's not played a ball as yet. I just wonder if it was smart thinking to bowl into the stumps and full. He should have either bowled wide or bowled it short. As you mentioned, that was a tie. Has never happened in this country, just twice in cricket history. 1 big hit, the tie scores here.
And you played in one of the 2 historic games that ended in a tie.
Yes, and the crowd has just swelled.
It was such a bad ball, I thought, that from Prasid Krishna. He didn't make Atkinson reach for the ball in any way. He could have bowled it wide of off stump, he could have bowled it short, but he just allowed him on a 4th stump line to dink it without any risk for 1 and get on strike. But he's got the strike now, and it's Mohammad Siraj.
Well, 10 runs added by these 2. 7 needed for England.
And would you believe it, it is Mohammad Siraj, the lion-hearted Siraj, who has led this attack throughout. He finishes the game. It is a famous win for India. This series is tied 2 apiece. All yours, Ravi.
5-wicket haul for a champion. Simply magnificent. He dropped the catch yesterday of Harry Brook and must have thought that everything is over here. But what a performance this morning from Team India, and Siraj in particular. Shubman Gill keeping his cool. Just 35 were needed when play started, and England have fallen 7 short. And it is Mohammad Siraj with another 5-wicket haul. And what an end to a magnificent test series.
Thank you very much for your brilliant support here.
Congratulations, India. They have been so competitive. stump to finish the game and the series for his team. Brilliant.
It's India's narrowest ever win in Test match cricket. Couldn't have got closer this. And what a thrilling finale, and what an end to a magnificent series. India losing the first test, bouncing back to win the last test, and to make the series 2-2.
Well, what a series it has been as Ben Stokes leads his England team out to shake hands. It's been fiery at times, there's been a bit of tension and needle from time to time, but these two teams have given us the most magnificent series, and it finishes with Chris Woakes, arm in a sling, dislocated shoulder. He didn't face a ball. Atkinson had to keep him away from the strike. He had to go for the big shot. And you can see the smiles and the delight on the faces of the India captain and his players and coach, who is under some pressure after two series defeats. Well, they've avoided a third by the narrowest of margins.
Well,
okay, Dinesh Karthik, who have you got?
Siraj, this was a big moment. You almost felt like India had a very little chance yesterday, but today you come out with the ball, और आपने जो किया है is spectacular. What were you thinking?
I'm thinking only मेरा ये की प्लान था कि मैं अच्छे एरियाज पे डालूं, वहाँ से अगर चौका भी आया, विकेट भी आया, मेरा सिंपल प्लान था कि मैं एक जगह वहाँ पर डालते रहूं.
कल जब आप कैच छोड़े थे उधर, when you dropped that catch, what were you thinking? What was the feelings at that time?
To be honest, मैंने सोचा नहीं था कि वो कैच पकड़ के मैं छिक्के में जाऊंगा, बट वो मैच चेंजिंग मूवमेंट था, जैसा हरी ब्रूक ने जैसा वहाँ से T20 बैटिंग मोड पे आ गया था, बट मैं सोचा कि वहाँ से हमारा गेम थोड़ा पीछे चले गया, बट टू बी थैंक यू टू ऑल मच.
Last question. At 300 for 3, did you have the belief that you could be doing this today?
Yeah, I'm always believe myself कि मैं हमेशा मैं कोई से भी सिचुएशन में मैं मैच जीता सकता हूँ, तो मेरा बिलीव यही था. तो
Thanks a lot, Siraj. He says when he dropped that catch yesterday, he was really guilty, felt very bad, and didn't see this as the opportunity to win. And when I asked him, what does it take for a young man like him to bowl with that intensity, he said he just believed. He had a wallpaper in his phone which said believe, and I just wanted to execute it because I wanted to be the guy to come here and finish it off. Well done to Siraj. He's just bowled magnificently today.
And well done to you, DK, for translating and getting that interview with one of the players who's lit up this series. He's such an expressive cricketer, a player of obvious skill and talent, but real tenacity and character as well. And maybe those are the two adjectives that describe best this India team in this series: tenacious and full of character.
yes, the big support for the Indians today. They came out in numbers as early as 10 o'clock in the morning. They cheered all the way, and they kept the team going. They came back from a 195-run partnership and have finished off the game, winning with England needing 7 runs. And what a performance this morning. Nail-biting stuff, thrilling stuff, and a fitting end to the Anderson Tendulkar Trophy.
Well, DK is doing manful work for us down there. Who have you got now, mate?
We have with us Rahul here. What does this win mean to you?
Absolutely everything. I've played cricket for a while and won Champions Trophy. I've seen India lifting the World Cup. I mean, nothing compares to lifting the World Cup, but there's so many doubts, so many questions from everybody about whether Test cricket will stay or not. I think both the teams, with the way we've played in this series, I think we've answered that question. For us as a team, that wasn't given a chance in this series, and for us to fight back and to fight in every game and to get a result which is 2-2 might seem like a drop, but for us and for Indian Test cricket going in the future, I think this will rank right at the top, and this is where the change begins, and Indian Test team will go on to create a lot many things and win a lot many more series outside of India, and yeah, the whole team deserves it.
before the start of the series, we had Virat Kohli retiring, Rohit Sharma retiring, we had Ashwin retiring. So 3 big names out of the roster in India's team. And in walked KL Rahul as the senior statesman. What did that moment mean to you as you walked into the series?
Yeah, I think it hit me when I joined the team. I was here about 2 weeks earlier playing India A's, and it didn't hit me back then. But once I joined the team and I looked around and I didn't have Rohit and Virat and Ashwin, who I've played all my cricket with, just to look around and not see them felt a bit weird. But yeah, that's when it hit me that everyone else is looking at me, coming to me to ask about English conditions, what they need to do, how they need to prepare, and that's when it hit me that okay, I've stepped into a different role now, and it's time for me to help the younger guys use all the experience I've had of playing Test cricket and international cricket over the years, and really put my hand up and stand up for this team.
This moment almost feels like this is a young team that's going to stay there for a long time. You and Jadeja are the most experienced along with Bumrah. But a word on Shubman Gill and how well he's led in this team, and the fact that Mohammad Siraj just keeps coming back every spell.
Yeah, look, Shubman's been phenomenal. I think he's really led from the front. He's worked really hard on the boys behind the scenes as well, in forming connections, which a lot of people don't see, but I think that's really important to do as a captain, and he's done that. He's been tactically really good. The changes he's made over the series has always got us the wicket somehow, and I think he will grow. He will grow on to be a really, really good Test captain. I can't speak too much about his individual performance because I think he's already shown the world what he can do in all 3 formats, and especially this series, the way he batted, I think was phenomenal to watch, phenomenal to bat with him, and there's so much I get to learn from him. And yeah, he's here to stay as a leader, and he will take this Indian Test team to greater heights.
Thanks a lot, KL. Well done.
Congratulations to KL Rahul, who has enjoyed a wonderful series with the bat at the top of the order for India. And Mohammad Siraj, he has not let go of that match ball. It is in his right hand, and he ain't letting it go. I'm telling you, that will be on his mantelpiece, Ravi, anytime soon.
It will certainly be, and he deserves it. And he no longer will be Deputy Superintendent of Police. He will get the biggest promotion when he goes back to Hyderabad.
Well, those 3 seamers, they had to carry a burden here. Akash Deepbol, 20 overs, 1 for 85. Prasidh Krishna, 27 overs, 4 for 126. And Siraj, 30.1 over 6 maidens, 5 for 104. India only had 3 seamers. There was nothing in the pitch for the spinners, who only bowled 8 overs between them. So what a performance from these 3 seamers, and in particular Siraj, who landed it perfectly right at the base of off stump. He would have sensed that Atkinson was looking for that big shot to the leg side, where in fact he'd hit him for 6 only an over or so ago. So he speared it in, cross seam, wonderfully accurate and precise. And the series finishes with Atkinson's off stump completely flattened. Absolute joy and ecstasy for India's players and their supporters. A full house here, just an hour's cricket we had on this 5th and final day, but they came in their thousands, and what an hour's cricket they got. Unbelievable drama. A couple of boundaries went in the first over, and you thought, well, England, this is England's morning, but very quickly the ball started to move for Siraj, wickets tumbled, and in the end it was Chris Wokes who came to the middle in an arm in a sling. Unbelievable scenes, really. And this is where it finished, with India making 224 and 396, England 247, and bowled out in their second innings for 367. England win by 6 runs, their narrowest ever Test match victory, and they tie the series 2 apiece. What a series.
Astonishing, absolutely astonishing, and that's just Dinesh Karthik, who's leapt into shot. Well done with all of those interviews. They seem quite happy.
I am very happy because I'm going to go to that podcast. That is the most important part of this Test series. But the fact is that very proud to have been a part of that team before, because you know, when you represent your country and there's so much talk about Test cricket, this is the kind of series that keeps it alive. It keeps that fire alive. So happy to have spoken to Siraj, but mostly KL, the way he said that Test cricket is well and truly alive. I was just enjoying interviewing them because it means so much to them.
Well, the pinnacle of the game was absolutely on show today. I mean, we'll come on to England and etc., and that incredibly brave performance from Chris Woakes. You know, naught not out of naught. That's got to be the bravest naught not out of naught the game's ever seen. But the passion that the Indian players and supporters are showing for this win in a Test match bodes well.
It does, and it was an incredible series. It wasn't just today. It wasn't like 4 boring games and then we had a little thrilling climax to it all the way through this series. We will wake up tomorrow and we will go, oh, we haven't got any India-England left in the Test series. That has just been an incredible story. Different conditions, different pitches, and you have to be honest, it would have been a travesty if England had gone 3-1. India deserved to be 2-2. For the amount of good cricket they have played in this series, the final scoreline was well and truly deserved by India, 2-2. And it was very fitting that Mohammad Siraj was the man to get that final wicket. He has bowled his heart out. He had the traumatic moment here on the boundary, going over and stepping over Brook. He had the traumatic moment at Lord's, being the last man out with 22 to get. He deserved to get that final wicket. Brilliant scenes, not just here, but throughout the last 6 weeks.
Jasprit Bumrah's wife just walked by, and it's quite potent, well, poignant, I should say, because all the talk coming into the series was about Jasprit Bumrah. They've won the 2 games that he's not played in, and Siraj has absolutely and categorically stepped up to the plate.
The batters get a lot of the credit because they have a lot more screen time when they score boundaries. That's what comes in highlights. Sometimes you tend not to look at the bowlers because they'll have 3 moments on a good day, on a very rare day, 5 moments. But the fact is that what Siraj has done here is not just today. He's walked in today wanting to be the man to do it. He said he had a screenshot of a wallpaper saying, "Believe Siraj." And that has how much it means to him in Test cricket. He has bowled like an absolute warrior. He has done the donkey's work for 5 Test matches. Every time they've needed a spell, he has come in and bowled at 85 and 86, and today he hit 90. Couldn't be more proud of him as a bowler. He's worked hard and he values Test cricket, and that is why this win is so important. And hats off to the crowd. Look, they didn't need him to come today. All they knew was 40 minutes of play or an hour at best, but they turned up in big numbers, and a lot of Indians as well. I hope they got their money's worth because we did enjoy watching that.
They absolutely did. I mean, when you say about the donkey work with Siraj, you're talking about his ticker, his physical prowess, but his skillfulness in this series as well. 2 absolutely nailed Yorkers in this game to get rid of Crawley and then Atkinson at the end.
Absolutely. Every ball, Subman had to run and just decide what was happening, what's the ball you're going to bowl. But with Siraj, not so much. It was more with Prasidh. With Siraj, you almost trusted him to go ahead and do it. What is important in a Test series like this? Somebody on the last day walking in wanting to make the country proud. Now you got to really value that on a bad day for him. When you evaluate him on a bad day, you actually cut him some slack because what he's done here is special. Level the series 2-2. Siraj is a bowler who from the start of his career said, I value Test cricket the most, and I really hope people appreciate that in the long run because it's fantastic to see him do what he did.
Well, he might say it, but he's proved it with his actions as well. I mean, there are so many moments to pick out from the series, which we'll do in due course. Old Trafford, India 0-2. Here, Brook and Root with the game absolutely by the scruff of the neck, and somehow India have found a way.
That tells you something about the team, that they can dig deep after so much cricket. And remember, Indian cricketers play a lot of cricket leading up to this, a long IPL. They would have come here fairly tired, and you get to an end of a series, and when the game's going against you, 0-2, and the partnership between Washington Sundar and Jadeja, and then you come here and it just looked like Root and Brook were going to see England over the line. They were flat between lunch and tea. They were flat after tea. They've lost 5 tosses, Wardy, in the whole series, and yet they can summon up those reserves of strength, mental and physical, to be able to drag it back and get it back to 2-2.
I'll tell you a small moment, Wardy. This series has been spicy. There's been a lot of back and forth, a lot of words in between Test matches. But as I was interviewing Siraj, he just ticked me saying, I want to be done with this. Why? Because the England team was wanting to give him a handshake and he wanted to get done with that interview. And the England team waited the whole time when I finished that interview to give a handshake back to him. Small moments like these tell you how much they fight hard on the field, but also the respect they have for each other, and that was beautiful to watch.
Also means you have to learn when to accept the cue and not go off on your own thing, because we had to start the interview again because you didn't wait for your cue. That's why we had to wait.
I did the interview for about 2 minutes and I realized only I was talking. No one else was listening to Siraj. I had to cue again. I need to work on my broadcasting skills, to be honest.
I'm watching you do it. When he's doing the interview, I'm not hearing it. Everyone's saying, get him to do it again, get him to do it again. When he won the IPL, Virat Kohli said about Test match cricket, it's great, just to go back to that topic, that we're hearing it from the players here. Kohli said that after the IPL victory. India have backed it up here. Because if the game is going to keep going as it is, India needs to be invested, don't they?
They are invested. They're fully invested. Kohli was invested. When great cricketers and great players like that not only say those words, that backed it up for a decade or so, more than that, before that, they have been thoroughly invested. It would be lovely to just look at this here this week and go, why do we complain? Why do we worry about Test match cricket? I have turned up every day this series going, why do people knock this format? It is just so wonderful. But I'm afraid other countries don't have the luxury that England, India, Australia have. The crowd here, the whole series, every day pretty much sold out. Come in for 40 minutes today, they would have thought. Everyone came in, sell-out crowd. But I'm afraid not every country has the luxuries and the luck that we have. So we and India and Australia have to keep an eye on the future of Test match cricket. If we let this go, we are not doing the game a service, to be honest. We need to keep an eye on this and keep pushing it forward and look after those who aren't as fortunate.
One person I'd like to talk about from England, Chris Woakes today. That was incredibly brave. You could see the pain he was in when he was running. If he had to come out and face even one delivery from Mohammad Siraj, one-handed with a dislocated shoulder, batting the wrong way round, extraordinary.
It is, and I like the DK spoke about the players and the way they get on off the field. As he walked out, 3 or 4 of the Indian players went up to him and patted him on the shoulder. Luckily, the right shoulder, not the left shoulder. I know a few would have gone and done the dodgy shoulder. But also, once you're out there, as with Rishabh Pant, when Rishabh went out there, it is open season. If you're going to go out there and get runs, then you're in the firing line, you're going to get bounces, you're going to get people aiming at your foot. In Woakes' case, there would have been the odd short ball. It hurt. Every single run he took, he was in agony. He didn't end up facing a delivery, but you had Joe Root stood right here at the cart, and he said Chris Woakes would be distraught if he didn't go out there. He is distraught now, but he never, ever will let England down, and he didn't let England down today.
One of the best Test match series we have seen, no question about that. We're going to hear from the player of the match, the player of series, and the 2 captains. That was absolutely fabulous.
And some sweat when the heat is on. Some like it hot, some like it hard.
and Richie Richardson, our match referees. Our on-field umpires, Kumar Damasina, Asan Raza, Rod Tucker, Chris Gaffney, Paul Rifle and Shafadullah Saikat. And our fourth umpires, Russell Warren, Mike Burns, Graham Lloyd and Martin Saggers. And we would also like to thank our ground teams for all the matches in the series and each of the head ground staff, Richard Robinson, Carl McDermott, Gary Barwell, Matt Merchant and Lee Fortis. Our first player presentation is the Rothsay Player of the Match for this test, nominated by Sky Sports, and will receive a Rothsay Player of the Match medal. In a game where bowlers fought back, fifers for Josh Tongue and Gus Atkinson against the brilliance of Joe Root with 105, Harry Brook with 111 and Yashasvi Jaswal with 118. One player who never gave up in every match throughout the whole series and got their awards in this final match. 9 wickets in the match, 5 for 104 in the second innings. The Rothsay Player of the Match, Mohammad Siraj.
Mohammad Siraj, many congratulations. Let's talk about this hour of cricket this morning. Was that the most dramatic hour of cricket you've played in?
To be honest, I feel so amazing because we everyone there is thoughts day one to till here is everyone is fight too hard and result is that. So we'll be very happy.
You've had to lead India's attack throughout. You're the last seamer standing. 5 hard games. How have you managed to keep going?
मेरा एक ही सिंपल प्लान था कि जितना हो सके मैं अपने कंसिस्टेंट पे एरिया पे हिट करते रहूँ, ज़्यादा ट्राई मत करूँ, एक सिंपल प्लान रखूँ और वहाँ से विकेट मिलती है तो विल बी बोनस एंड कीप प्रेशर बिल्ड.
All he wanted to do was make sure he just hit the right areas and he believed the wickets would fall. Everything else would be a bonus from there on.
And coming to the ground this morning with 35 runs to win for England, did you think you were favourites this morning?
जैसा मैं सुबह उठा तो I thought कि मैं कर सकता हूँ क्योंकि बिलीफ सिस्टम था मेरे पास और मैंने सुबह उठा अपने गूगल पे से एक फ़ोटो इमेज निकाला और वॉलपेपर पे रखा कि मैं कर सकता हूँ यहाँ पर, तो बहुत ही मज़ा आया.
When he woke up in the morning, he believed that he could do it. And then he took a screenshot of something from Google which said believe and he put it out there because he wanted to get it done today.
And how easily did you find it to put the catch yesterday when Harry Brook was on 19 to the back of your mind?
I thought he's a game changing moment because वो टाइम पे अगर कैच लेता तो अभी तक मैच फिनिश हो जाता था क्योंकि मॉर्निंग नहीं आना पड़ता था. बट लंच से पहले हैरी ब्रूक जैसा फिर अटैकिंग मोड ऑन किया हैरी ब्रूक ने, हैट्स ऑफ टू हिम एंड वी good feeling this, amazing.
He says that if Harry Brook's catch had been taken, probably we wouldn't have seen play happening today, but he's very happy to come back. Well done to Harry Brook. He said he played really well, but the fact is that he was nervous when he dropped it.
And just contrast the feeling now that you have with at Lord's 2 games ago when you were the last man out.
It's very heartbreaking moment क्योंकि तब जड्डो भाई ने एक ही बात कर रहे थे, जितना हो सके अपना बैट से मिडिल करके खेल और ज़्यादा टेंशन मत ले और वन वर्ड इस टेलिंग के अपने फादर के बारे में सोच, जितना तो इतनी मेहनत करके यहाँ तक पहुँचा था, फिर अनफॉर्चुनेटली इट्स हैपन.
He says that Jaddu was telling him to back his defense and the fact that remember your father, how hard you worked to get here, put everything into play and you can get it done, but it was just didn't happen at that moment.
And Ravi Shastri says you're due a promotion now in the police force in Hyderabad, is that right?
I don't know. I don't know.
Many congratulations. You've had a magnificent series. Well played.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, DK.
We can now announce the England Rothsay Men's Test Player of the Summer following the conclusion of the series against India. A one-off Test win against Zimbabwe was followed by the series draw against India in a captivating contest. This award has been decided via the PCA's Most Valuable Player rankings powered by OFX. Standout performances during the summer's Rothsay Test matches, including displays from captain Ben Stokes and Ben Duckett. However, there can only be one MVP, and after scoring 539 runs and taking 14 catches, the decision was made. This player is also today's Rothsay Player of the Series for England, as nominated by Gautam Gambhir, who receives a Rothsay medal and Magnum of Chapeldown English sparkling wine. England's Player of the Series and Rothsay Men's Test Player of the Summer is Harry Brook.
Harry, congratulations. Just take us into the England dressing room as it was for that hour this morning. Are you a good or a bad watcher?
I came into the day this morning very confident. Obviously we had two very good players out there at the time, and yeah, I just thought we were going to easily see it home. And then obviously the way that the Indians fought back there and the way that Siraj bowled especially, I think he deserved every success there.
When the rain came last evening, it was very difficult conditions for batting. Did you feel at that point that the break and the chance to put a heavy roller on the pitch played to England's advantage?
Yeah, absolutely, and we were thinking the bowlers would stiffen up a bit, the pitch would be a little bit flatter, but obviously the overcast conditions, lights on again, it started to zip around a bit, and like I said before, Siraj he's played 5 test matches in a row, bowling 85 plus every ball, and he's had a phenomenal series, and I respect him a lot for what he's done this series.
And when was it decided that Chris Woakes would be ready to bat? Was it yesterday that he went and had a bit of a hit in the indoor school, left-handed?
Yeah, he was always going to go out no matter what, and yeah, credit to him there as well. He's in a lot of pain at the end, you could see by his face. Yeah, it's unfortunate that we didn't get across the line, and yeah, it's just cricket, isn't it?
A thrilling partnership yesterday with Joe Root, 195, I think, in 211 balls. At that point, did you feel you had the game in the bag?
Yeah, absolutely, and there's so many things you can think in hindsight. Yeah, we were obviously going really well, and if we could get a couple of big overs there, just when I got out, the game was done. But as we've seen through this whole series, there's been quite a lot of collapses where either we've bowled them out for 50 runs, 6 wickets for 50 runs, or they've done the same to us. So, yeah, it's fairly fitting.
People reflect on a brilliant 100, but also the bizarre way that you got out. Do you just accept that with that high-risk nature of the cricket that you play, that there will be the odd occasion like that, or do you look back now and think, I wish I could have done it differently?
Well, my thought process was just try and hit as many runs as quick as possible, and like I said, the game's done. If we need 40 well, 40 runs with me and Rooty in there, and I get out there, the game's still done. And obviously it didn't work, but yeah, hindsight is a beautiful thing, and obviously I wish now I didn't play that shot and get out.
200s and a 99 in the series. How do you look at it as a whole from your own perspective?
Yeah, I've played all right. Could have won that game yesterday, which is devastating, but yeah, I'm just happy to contribute to as many games as possible.
And it's been an amazing, fulfilling series for everybody to watch. What has it been like to play in? I mean, have you enjoyed it? It's been fiery and niggly at times, but have the two sides enjoyed that aspect of it? And what about the respect between the players?
Yeah, it's been an awesome series. It's been a very intense series. After every game, we've all been absolutely knackered. So we've put everything on the line. We haven't left anything out there, and yeah, it's been an awesome series to be part of. Even that finish there, I know on the wrong side of it, but it's such a good advert for Test cricket, and hopefully people will carry on watching it.
Well said and well played to you.
We now come to India's Rothsay Player of the Series. This was chosen by England head coach Brendan McCullum, and the winner receives a Rothsay medal and a Magnum of Chapeldown English sparkling wine. It was commented, Mohammad Siraj character throughout every single game taking wickets was worth noting, as was KL Rahul at the top of the order with 532 runs, and as ever the all-round game of Ravindra Jadeja. But one wicket always stood out and was always hard to get. 4 centuries in the series, averaging 75.4. India's Rothsay Player of the Series is their captain, Shubman Gill.
Shubham, many congratulations. India's narrowest Test match victory. It feels like today, this game and this series is going to go down in folklore.
Yeah, definitely. I think the way both the teams played in the entire series, every day coming on day 4, never day 5, never really knowing which team is going to win, really shows that both the team came up with their A game, and very happy to get on over the line in this one.
The Test series has tested you in so many ways in your first series as captain, but perhaps none more so than this morning, this hour of cricket. So many decisions to make. Just talk us through a few of them, whether to take the second new ball, whether not to, how far to bring the field in, how far to protect the boundaries. How did you go about it?
When you have got bowlers like Siraj and Prasidh bowling that spell, captaincy seems pretty easy. Bowling a spell doesn't really, ball is doing all sorts, they're making the ball talk. Yes, there was a little bit of pressure on us, but I think the way we responded this morning with them coming through with the spell was just magnificent for us.
And were you always confident that you could win that game this morning? Were you concerned that the break last night with another heavy roller on the pitch would have played to England's advantage?
No, I think, yeah, we were pretty confident. Even yesterday, we knew that they are a little bit of under pressure. We just wanted to make sure that they're feeling the pressure throughout. Pressure makes everyone do things that they don't want to, and we just wanted to make sure that they're feeling the pressure throughout the 37 runs that they scored. Tell us a little about captaining Mohammad Siraj. He looks like a captain's dream. Yes, definitely. He is a captain's dream. Coming in 5 Test matches, every ball, every spell that he bowled gave us all out, and every captain, every team wants a player like him. We are very fortunate to have him in our team. And do you think 2-2 is a fair reflection of the cricket played between the teams? Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, both the teams coming on day 5, never really knowing which team is going to win. This shows that how passionate both the teams were, and how much of a good cricket both the teams played throughout the series. Talk about your own performance, if we can, for a moment, because it's partly an individual award as well. You said at the start of the series you wanted to be the best player you could be. You've achieved that this summer. Feels very rewarding to be able to achieve that. I worked pretty hard before the start of the series. There were certain things that I wanted to work on as a batsman, and it was my goal to be able to be the best batter of the series. And to be able to accomplish that goal feels very satisfying and very rewarding. You've had plenty to prove coming here, and you said you wanted to work on certain things. Were the changes technical or mental or a combination? Always both, always a combination of both. I think once you are sorted mentally, you would be in a good space, but you're only sorted mentally when you're feeling technically correct. So I think they're both kind of correlated. If you feel like you're getting in good positions, you're always mentally more stable. An amazing series. What have you learnt about yourself and your team over the last 6 weeks? That we never give up. Well done. Congratulations. Thank you.
And now, for a few words, will you please welcome up England's series captain, Ben Stokes.
Ben, a tough one to watch, given all that you'd contributed in the 4 Test matches earlier in the series, but not able to here.
Yeah, it's obviously always difficult when you can't participate in a game. Another hard-fought game, down to day 5. Like, both teams have put so much energy and effort into this whole series. It's been an amazing one to be a part of. But yeah, obviously, bitterly disappointed that we couldn't get over the line here. But yeah, a series that I'm very proud of my team, of everything that they've thrown into this. We obviously would have loved to have come away with the series win, but it wasn't meant to be.
The ultimate drama in the end, really, with Chris Woakes, who made his debut here a dozen years or so ago, walking down the stairs with his arm in a sling. Just tell us about that decision, whether he had to be pushed through the door or whether he's putting his good arm up to volunteer.
Yeah, no, I don't think, obviously, when it got to the situation it did, there was never a question in Woakes' mind about what he was going to do. He actually spent yesterday trying to figure out which way round, if he had to face up, if he was going to be left or right-handed. But I think, look, we've had guys go out with broken foots, we've had guys go out with broken fingers, and we've had guys go out and with dislocated shoulders. I think it shows what it is to play for your country and try and win games for your country as well. But yeah, again, like, just such a hard-fought series from both teams, and myself, and I'm sure Shubman as well, is very proud of what their team have contributed towards us.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the series as a whole, because It's been a spicy series, but I don't think any of the worse for that from a viewer's perspective. What's it been like to play in?
Yeah, it's been awesome. India, England's always a massive series. There's always going to be moments where emotion comes out from both sides, in particular when you get to a stage of the game where almost the game's on the line. And I've said it a few times before, I don't think any of my lads are going to sleep crying over what was said, and I don't think any of the Indian players will be going to bed crying over what was said either. And I think it just shows that the passion and the desire that everyone who walks out representing their country with their nation's flag on their chest means.
And you, as a player, back to your best now as a genuine all-rounder, is that how you see it?
Yeah, it felt good. Obviously, really happy with how it went with the ball. Everything, all the niggles and stuff from all those years ago before sliding under the knife a few times. Hopefully, are all behind me. Obviously, work incredibly hard to make sure that I'm able to go out there and fulfil that role that I have done over the years. But yeah, obviously very disappointed to miss out on this game and not be able to contribute. But yeah, rehab starts now, and obviously we've got the big one coming up after this soon. Yeah,
you don't play now Test cricket until November, the big one, as you say. You've often talked about in the past when you've had to sit out games through injury that you look on from the sidelines and get a different perspective about your team. What did you see this week, that maybe pleased you, or was there anything that concerned you?
I think, pleasing is great. When one of your bowlers goes down so early on in a game, the whole, the sort of role of those three seamers completely changed from the selection we went with. And even in our second innings with the ball, the heart and the desire that the three big fellas kept on running in with and putting into the team, for the team, was outstanding. You can look back on a 5-day game, with many different moments and go, oh, well, if this had happened, if that had happened. But that's why cricket's so good. It's why we play sport. But all we ask for, me and Brendan, from the guys who get lucky enough to be selected in the 11, is that you leave everything out on the field. Not an ideal situation when one of your frontline bowlers goes down, but that heart and desire that Tungi, Gus and Jamie showed for the team was super outstanding.
The Graham Thorpe headband on your medal there. The last Ashes tour, which Thorpe was a part of the coaching staff, didn't go that well. Are you confident that the players under your command now will give it a good run when we do see you in Test cricket for the next time in November?
Absolutely.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
With this Test series drawn, both captains will receive a Bataudi medal. The Bataudi medal, which is awarded to the winning captain of the series, or in this case of a drawn series, both captains will receive one to recognise the legacy of Mansoor Ali Khan Bataudi, who captained India aged 21 and remains the only individual to represent both countries in Test cricket. The two skippers are there. Please show your appreciation. The inaugural Anderson Tendulkar Trophy and the Rothsay Test Series 2025 is drawn. And that concludes.
Two sides who have given absolutely everything from first ball until last. It has been an absolute joy and a privilege to watch some of the Test match cricket we've seen, starting with that remarkable run chasing Headingley through Edgbaston, Lords, Old Trafford and here at the Oval. As Ben Stokes there said to Michael Atherton, there's some broken bodies after such a heavy schedule, and how much effort and commitment both teams have put into this, and there'll be some very, very tired minds when they wake up tomorrow morning. Shubman Gill also, when asked about what he'd learnt about his team, said that we fight. Well, that's been sort of the theory and the thinking from both sides throughout the series. It has been a hugely competitive series, fabulous skill. And this is what it does to the ICC World Test Championship, because the Anderson Tendulkar Trophy is shared. Australia and Sri Lanka at the top, England in 4th place, India just ahead of them. Of course, England had those 2 points docked for a slow over rate. Stuart and I are joined by Brendan McCullum. That was some series, boss.
It was a cracking series. I That's as good a 5-match series I've ever been a part of or I've witnessed. I think, it just oscillated so much right throughout the 6 weeks, and I felt like it had everything. I thought there was quite a lot of hostility at times, there was camaraderie at other times, there was some brilliant cricket at times, there was some average cricket because of the pressures that both sides were under. I was thinking right throughout, we knew it was going to be hard coming into the series, we knew it was going to test us physically and mentally, but I think it's fair to say that it probably tested both teams more than what we both expected, but just an absolute cracking series to be a part of. And I felt after when Siraj took that final wicket, as much as we were incredibly disappointed, I had admiration for him and the fight that he's got as a cricketer and the way he was able to do what he did to bowl his team to a test win. I felt 2-2 was a fair reflection for the series.
When you look around the dressing room at times during this series, talk about the mental challenges that your team are facing, and Gautam Gambhir will be looking at a similar scene, I'd imagine, in his dressing room. The challenge is when it's so condensed, it's going down to the last ball of every day almost, and just the pressure that these guys have to deal with and then still come out and perform.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we knew coming into the 6 weeks that it was going to test us physically, but I think the physical exertion that we had, that playing all 5 days of all 5 tests takes, becomes quite a mental exertion as well. And I thought the way that the guys dealt with that, we obviously had to call in some fresh legs in this last test match, and as the other guys had left everything out there. But you can't prepare. You know that it's coming, but you don't know it's coming until it hits you, I think. And I'm sure Brody will be able to he'd be able to allude to that as well. He's been through it so many times himself. It's just the hardest thing in cricket, is playing a 5-match series and being tested as much as what you are for as long as what you are. And that's just why the game is such a great game, and it challenges you not just as a sportsman, but also challenges your character and questions whether how much you want it, because you know that the opposition's going to at the same time. So I just, as a fan of the game, I thought it was just an unbelievable spectacle, and it was just a pleasure to be a part of.
Is it a case of what might have been for you? I mean, there's so many incidents throughout this entire series. You had a 0 for 2 at Old Trafford, and then here in this game yesterday when Harry and Joe had the game by the scruff of the neck. Opportunities missed there?
Yeah, but you're always naturally going to have opportunities which come and go through a series, right? I think India will probably look back to some other opportunities they had, maybe in that first test at Headingley when they had a big score on the board and they weren't able to make inroads, and even at Lords when they were getting the score down and they had us under some pressure. So I think that's what the natural rhythm of a game will always serve up certain situations. I think at Old Trafford, I was proud of our efforts. I thought we threw everything at them. We tried different things, and ultimately India were able to fight, and they were able to prolong the series into this test. And even this last night when we had Harry Brook and Joe Root playing as well as what they were and counter-attacking in their style, for India to then come back and take 7 for 60, it's just another great example of what can happen in this great game we play.
Can I take you back to brilliant win at Headingley, then you get beaten quite convincingly at Edgbaston. Did you say anything to the changing room after that to be able to bounce back at Lords?
Well, nothing that was overly profound, no. It was just more, just keep doing more of what we're doing and just do a little bit better and make sure that, one thing that I think for us we've been very good at over the last few years has been able to play our style of cricket. When we go away from that, and maybe try and play like other teams, we're nowhere near as effective. I think our defence becomes vulnerable and our wicket-taking ability drops. If we stay true to what we believe in and we just keep doing it and back it in, almost double down on that philosophy, it gives us our greatest opportunity. I think that was what we were able to do at Lords. I thought the way we bounced back in the air and we constantly search for wickets with the ball, and we're always trying to come up with new plans and new ways to take wickets. And with bat in hand, I felt we were brave when we needed to be. I look at Harry Brook's 20-odd that he got at Lords, and I thought that was incredibly brave innings, knowing that it was going to be a low-scoring shootout in the last innings. So there was many different things throughout the series where I felt we grew as a team. It's hard to say that when you've lost the last test, but I felt the changing room was growing and it was becoming more and more familiar with understanding that when we play our style, it gives us our greatest chance. It doesn't guarantee anything, but it gives us our greatest chance.
My favourite moment of the series actually was after Washington Sundar had sort of said a few things in the press about India winning, and we panned onto you on the Lord's balcony. You just sort of said, "This guy, let's raise it." Was that led by you? Because the intensity then the team showed and the bowlers showed was what Test match cricket's about. It was aggressive, it was intense, it applied pressure to the opposition. Did you feel like as we're getting blown everywhere. Did you feel like you had to sort of say that to the group just to lift their emotions a bit?
Well, it actually came from some of the other guys. I was just reminding them of what we had talked about. But I think even there, I thought it was great drama right throughout the series. Both teams going at each other, but without crossing the line, and that's what you want, right? It's not easy out there, and you're representing your country, and you're playing for all the millions of fans which support your team. You expect passion, you expect confrontation, and there's certain moments and there's certain times where you know that there's key periods of play, and we felt that was one of those key times, and the guys identify it, so I was just merely trying to remind them.
Can I ask you about Ben, the player, not his captaincy? Runs in Old Trafford, wonderful 100. He's been your best bowler probably in the series, but again, he's back to bowling those long spells. Now, I'm not saying that that's necessarily the contributing factor as to why he went in the shoulder at Old Trafford, couldn't play here. But are you happy with him going back to doing that? Because he's shaking his head. Can he do that given the injuries that he's had? Because you are a very different side when he's not balancing it.
Yeah, look, I mean, first of all, Stokes, he's a once-in-a-generation cricketer, right? He bowls high 80 mile an hour with immense skill, long sustained spells. He makes things happen with bat in hand. He's got the most test sixes the game's ever seen and can turn a game and absorb pressure as good as anyone I've seen. And obviously he's an inspirational captain who the guys follow, and he plays cards every time he's a captain. He's always looking at how he advances the game and transfers pressure on the opposition. So look, are those the qualities he possesses they come about because of his personality, because through force of will, he's able to make things work. And sometimes that means he's got to bowl long periods, or he's got to take himself to dark places. So you can't have one without the other. And unfortunately, sometimes it does lead to injuries, and that's just part and parcel of it. So I would never want him to change. There's times where if someone else can do the heavy lifting during those times, I'd encourage him to do so. But for the best part, if there's a game on the line, then Ben Stokes is someone that you want with the ball in the hand or in the key passage of play. And he'll leave everything out on the field in Australia, and I don't think any of us want that any other way.
I'll talk to you about the bowlers in this game, because you obviously had to change things around, and Chris Woakes went down with that shoulder injury. How did they do? Because Josh Tongue looked a bit rusty. When you look back, could he have had some more cricket somewhere else to perhaps get rid of that rustiness, if indeed that was what it was?
Yeah, it's hard, right? Because you want guys around the group, and you want them to be able to still be in touch with how the environment's operating, and you're still trying to get much speed with working around the nets and stuff. But to be honest, I thought Josh Tongue on that first morning, the big boys, Josh and Jamie Overton were struggling a little bit with the foot marks, and once they were able to, I guess, push through that period, I thought they bowled exceptionally well. I think, you don't ever anticipate losing a bowler in a test match, especially your experienced bowler. We're left with three seamers who have got 20 test matches between them, bowling 88 out of 97 overs to try and bowl your team to a test win. And I thought they bowled absolutely brilliantly. Josh Tongue's got 19 wickets in 3 matches. Jamie Overton's hitting 90 mile an hour deep into his last spell in this test match. And obviously Gus Atkinson taking 8 for and showing what he's capable of doing even after such a long layoff. So I couldn't be prouder of the lads, to be honest. I thought they were superb, and just proud of the entire team and just all the efforts that they put in.
One player that wasn't here was Mark Wood. There was a talk that perhaps he could have made this test match. Where's he at? What's his prognosis going forward?
He'd be good to go for Australia.
Cool. Jacob Bethel, not played a lot of cricket, asked to come into a test match, and you look like he hadn't batted for a while. There was times, I know you like the players around the group, but would that have been better for him to go and spend some time in the middle somewhere?
Well, I guess you never know, right? But from our point of view, Jacob Bethel, we see a talent which is, his best years are well in front of him. What he's already done in international cricket is show how good he can be, show that he's not overawed by a situation. And I thought, when he went out to bat yesterday, even the ball started moving quite a lot. They challenged us, they adjusted their lengths, they set straighter fields, and they were able to hit the areas that they wanted consistently, and that's going to challenge any batter. Even Joe Root started his scoring rate dropped a little bit as well, which shows how difficult it is when a guy like Joe Root, 39 test 100 under his belt, and he's on 100, starts struggling in those conditions too. So look, Bethel he'll be back and he'll be better for the experience. And you never know until you get in those times, and I'm sure he'll learn from it. The good thing was I thought he took a positive option. I think it's the thing that people want to be seen to be doing is getting out to a ball in an acceptable manner, but sometimes you've got to be brave enough to be able to try and put some pressure back on the opposition, and he got out doing it, but no one ever regretted being positive, right?
Could you have been a bit braver today with the bat? There's a couple of timid shots from Jamie Smith outside the off stump, which I don't think we've seen from him in Test match cricket.
Yeah, look, I mean, retrospectively, we probably could have been braver a little bit even last night, but that's, again, I look at the way Siraj in particular was able to operate. He was getting the ball to swing beautifully. It was an 80-plus old ball, and obviously overcast conditions and the lights on, you know, it's tough batting conditions, right? And when you get in that late sort of swing, and still being able to also bowl the ball that comes back in and challenges your front pad, which he showed on a couple of occasions, it's tough out there. So you need a couple of things to go your way, and ultimately we had our chance in this game. We dropped 6 catches and 7 for 60 in the back end of the game. You don't win too many games doing that, but we gave ourselves every chance because we stuck to the style of play that just gives us our greatest opportunity.
How well set are you for the Ashes? And could you just explain why it's only one warm-up game? It's not like a couple, perhaps?
Well, I think things have changed a bit from the old days, Wardy. I don't think you need too many warm-up games these days. I think the best thing to do is to try and get the guys prepared as well as what you possibly can. I think since I've taken over, we've pretty much won every first game of every series that we've operated in, and we've run the same structure as what we're going to down in Australia. And you've got to have conviction in what you believe is going to give your players the best opportunity to perform, and that's the conviction that we've got.
Just finally on Chris Woakes, didn't look good. How's he doing?
No, he's good on Wokesy for walking out there and
incredibly brave.
Unbelievably brave. But I mean, it sums up Wokesy, right? He'd do anything for the team. He has done. He's been around English cricket for a long time now, and for him to go down in the manner that he did, yet still push himself out there with one arm effectively to try and get us across the line. It sums up the type of bloke he is. But we'll get some more information in the coming days, and we hope that it's not going to be too long a layoff for him.
Appreciate your time.
Cheers, Wardy.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Hawk.
Do you take anything from what Baz said there?
It's how he always operates as a coach, very level-headed. You could sense he maybe thought last night and this morning they could have been had a bit more conviction, but that's the pressure of Test match cricket, isn't it? And that's where these guys are learning. Got to remember, Jamie Smith's had a superb year and a half of Test match cricket. So's Gus Atkinson, and you're exposed to things that you've never been exposed to before, and you learn from that sort of thing. I know it's a different format, but I remember talking to Joss Butler about a Champions Trophy final against India in, when was that, 2013, and he got out first of all, couldn't remember anything about it, came into the change room and had a big swipe, couldn't remember, and now he's our greatest ever white ball player, dealing with pressure and getting in those scenarios. So you need to be exposed to high level pressure when there's expectancy and everyone's emotionally watching every ball, to be able to cope with it down the line. So yeah, it was for the first time in the series, I think England took a little bit of a backward step from about an hour to go last night, from when Harry Brook got out, and that's something that Baz will know and have noticed, and will drive it home getting on a flight to Australia. That isn't how England operate.
You have commentated and called some of the biggest moments in cricket over the last however many years. How did today rate?
Wardy, India's narrowest test win in their test history. So to be able to call that kind of a game when you have a full house for just 45, 55 minutes of cricket, unbelievable. And just the character shown by players of both teams. England down, out, 195 run partnership. India down, out at that stage, fight back. You come this morning, England favourites, yet India have a chance. India finish on the winning side. You can't ask for anything more. I mean, for Test match cricket, you cannot get a better advertisement than that. Full houses, a game going down to the wire, and exhilarating stuff. I just told Brendan on the way, tough luck. He said, great Test match, though up. I said, absolutely right. And what I like, what he spoke to you about, was he's sticking to his guns. He's sticking to his positives. He said, even last night, Jamie Smith could have been a little more positive. Forget this morning. Also, the way Jacob Bethel got out. I like coaches who back their players, because they have a style, which they want their players to stick with. So even if it doesn't come off, that's the time you got to back them. That's the time you don't run away and say, no, he could have done something better. He tried the positive option, it didn't work, so be it. But you carry on doing that.
With Bethel, though, enormously talented. He's hardly faced a ball. And then he's asked to go and bat in these conditions against Mohammad Siraj in a test match. That's tough.
Yeah, and he's really young. If that was Ben Stokes, wouldn't bother me, because you've got a wealth of experience and you've seen a lot of different scenarios. I think Jacob Bethel's, 21? Hasn't had a huge amount of cricket behind him, has never scored a first-class 100. So
he needs to play.
Yeah, it's very difficult for him to cope with high-level pressure and quality test match bowlers when he's not in any sort of rhythm or flow. But also I do get Baz's mindset that he needs to be around the group and see how we operate. But he needs to play some cricket. I can only really talk about the bowling I like to play. I don't like bowling in nets. I like to play in games. I like to take wickets. I like to get the sense that if I bowl a bad ball, it goes for 4. I think as a batter, you need to know that if you play a loose shot, make a mistake, you don't just pick it up and throw it back to the bowler. There's definitely a part of that old school build your knowledge of the game so you can deal with high-level pressure. But he will have learnt a huge amount from this test match. He looked out of his depth, if we're honest, in test match cricket in these couple of innings. But that doesn't mean that he won't be a really fine test match player in years to come and learn from that experience. You can see he's got obvious talent and technical abilities to be able to perform at this level. They weren't on show this test match, but doesn't mean they won't be on show in years to come.
Just wonder if it's not quite fair for him at the minute. But anyway, let's move on. Let's relive this morning, Rav. I mean, it truly was high drama. When you came to the ground this morning, what were you expecting? Or were you just coming in with a blank canvas? And
I thought there's going to be a twist, to be honest. And, I said that to you in the first 5 or 6 minutes. If India strike, there's going to be drama. There's going to be definite drama because, having watched the game so long, knowing what it is like in dressing rooms, right? How the pressure can shift. And pressure can make you do strange things. So when that wicket fell and the crowd started getting involved, umpires then felt the heat as well. Forget the players, and it was fabulous stuff. So I knew that if India strike early, there could be a big twist here.
As you watched this unfold, what was going through your mind?
I was scrambled, to be honest. I was emotional. It was the first sort of 15 minutes that was so important, wasn't it? Whether England could start calmly, maybe find the boundary, make India then have to try something. But with Jamie Smith going so early, it meant that India had the encouragement, had the energy up, had the crowd up. And actually the ball did a little bit more than I thought it was going to this morning. It really did swing. And India tactically, don't underestimate how clever they were with bowling channel. Ravi made the point in the review up in the changing room that if you go into the top of off stump in scenarios like this, you have the opportunity to score through the leg side. So if you go into channel with swing, the batter's got to feel for it. You're putting the pressure on the batter to go and do the work through the offside. So it was a brilliant finish by Mohammad Siraj as well. Had been hit for 6 from Gus Atkinson. That is one of Gus Atkinson's shot, the big slog sweep for 6. So he sort of had a gut feeling that he was going to try something like that again and speared in the off-stump Yorker. Brilliant bowling and a great way for this Test series to finish, actually. You wouldn't have caught me saying this when I was a player in that changing room, but I do think 2-2 was the fair result. I genuinely think India deserved to board a flight back home with something to show for the efforts and the skill they've shown in this series. And also, I think England deserves something out of the series as well.
Mr. Mohammad Siraj, where would India be without him? Because India have won the 2 tests that Jasprit Bumrah hasn't played. And in those 2 tests, he's taken 16 wickets at 19.
Unbelievable. I mean, for today to come out and lead the attack, literally say there's no Bumrah, I am the Bumrah. Today for the 1 hour of play. No one's going to take the ball out of my hand till I finish this game. And he's got that mindset, and he went with that mindset. And I said tactically we were fantastic. India was fantastic there. In the field placings as well. Third man, fine. And if you saw, a lot of balls went to the fielders where they were positioned in the outfield. Just one going over the man at long on. So I thought they came out with a game plan and they stuck to it. They started with the right combination and they stuck to that plan. And when they tasted success early, you knew the pressure was falling back on England. See, because when it comes to Jamie Smith, you mentioned, when there is pressure, you do strange things. You're allowed to leave a ball in Test cricket, by the way. So when India is bowling in that channel, you're allowed to leave the ball and soak the pressure sometimes. Make the bowler come at you. England never did that. In fact, they went for the ball. Perfect in this situation. You're playing into the opposition hands, especially when the ball is swinging.
I wonder if the instance that Ravi's talking about there, that was because they were fearful of that second new ball. So they were trying to get the runs before the second new ball was taken. In the end, India didn't take it and didn't need to take it. Perhaps that's why they were playing. But even it wasn't done with conviction. I keep using Jamie Smith as an example, but it usually plays with such aggression and such control. Maybe they're trying to get the job done before that second new ball.
Yeah, I think that would have been a conversation, because I don't think England would have predicted it would have swung and seemed as much as it did this morning with a 76 over ball. So I think you'd have thought, use these 4 overs, let's try and get moving, let's take these for 5, 6 and over, bring that down and almost force India to say, all right, we have to take this new ball, we need 3 slips, bang, bang, game's over. So I think that would have been part of the mental thought process last night, to use this older ball while it's not doing a huge amount to find the boundary. But it did a huge amount. So Jamie Smith in his 3 balls would have realised, OK, this is swinging a bit more than I thought. Maybe a dance down and poke outside off stump isn't the right play, but actually maybe it is the right play, but done with more conviction, more positivity. And I think that's what Brendan was alluding to at the cart. We went about it exactly how we wanted to go about it, but we just needed to do it in 5th gear rather than sort of 3rd.
Leading run scorers. Mr. Shubman Gill. Yep. I mean, that's some series. In terms of leading from the front, what do you see in the way he perhaps has grown as a leader as well as the runs he scored?
It's there for everyone to see. The way his body language first Test match as opposed to his body language today. There was, you could see he was assertive. He was more in control. He felt as if I belong to this job now. I can communicate even with the senior guys in the team. I can make them do things or set fields the way I want. That comes with confidence. And then when you're getting those kind of runs, then it becomes a lot easier. That's the second highest by any captain overseas in a 5-match series after Bradman. 810 Bradman, 754 Shubman Gill in your first series, and then to draw level. You're only going to grow from there. With that exposure, especially overseas, you're going to grow. And this is a young side growing. Think of this side in India now, with the kind of batting talent they have and those 2 all-rounders coming to the fore. Washington, Sundar and Jadeja, Siraj there, Bumrah there. They have a choice of fast bowlers. Kuldeep will play in India. It's a very strong side then. So picking up these 2 wins overseas to jump up that World Test Championship table is a very good sign.
Harry Brook was the player of the series for England with 481. Joe Root, though, remarkable. 300s on the spin, into number 7, second in the leading Test run scorers. He's getting better.
Yeah, what's really impressed me about him in this
even with
series,
the surfboards on.
Yeah, exactly. But how he's kept his energy and his mindset as this series has gone on. 5 Test match series, exhausting really, back to back to back. And he's gone 100 in the 3rd, 4th and 5th. That's what you're after from your experienced player. You don't want, you don't mind 100 in the first Test match, but you don't want 100 in the first Test match and then disappear for the series. You want your experienced players to keep coming back every day and delivering. And for him to have still delivered again here today, I think this is probably his best 100 of the lot, to be honest, with the amount the ball was doing and his composure of what he did and the emotion around this whole Test match with Thorpe and what that would mean to Rooty. So, phenomenal. Feel like he's getting better. It's wonderful to watch, and maybe he just holds the key to the winter.
We shall see. Fair result?
Fair result. I'm with Brody. I think 2-2 is absolutely fair. You could easily say one side could have been 3-1 up. It could have been both sides who could have been 3-1 up. So 2-2, fair result.
OK. Well, the good news is that Brody's back on your screens tomorrow with the 100. And you're opening the show with your good friend David Warner. Is that right?
Well, I'm certainly not opening the bowling. I don't think I've been signed by that. But there's a rumour that we might be potentially have David Warner at the top of the show with his surfboards on.
With his surfboards.
Are you preparing to, which side are you preparing to bowl from? Round the wicket?
Round the wicket, nip it back.
Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. Moving away from cricket to the return of the Premier League, and we start at the home of the champions, Anfield destination. They take on Bournemouth Friday, August 15, 6:30 Sky Sports Premier League. And the 100 does get underway again tomorrow, so that's the game that Stuart and David Warner will be involved in. London Spirit Oval Invincibles doubleheader, 2:30 Wednesday, 2:45 for Manchester Originals against Southern Brave. Northern Superchargers, Welsh Fire, 2:45 on Thursday. After all that,